Angela Merkel has called for the European Union to ramp up its preparations for trade talks with Britain ending without an agreement after being warned that Britain is ready to do business with the bloc on the same terms as Australia. The German Chancellor said the post-Brexit negotiations had shown little signs of progress in recent weeks despite the two sides' accelerated efforts. But Mrs. Merkel refused to admit defeat, insisting she would be kept busy until the end of the year trying to deliver a free trade agreement. Speaking at the European Parliament in Brussels, Mrs. Merkel said, "One key partner will remain the United Kingdom. We need to shape our future relationship and that will keep us busy over the next 6 months." Progress in the negotiations thus far have been slim, to put it diplomatically. "We've agreed with the UK to accelerate the pace of talks to reach an agreement by the autumn, an agreement that can be ratified by the end of the year. I will continue to push for a good solution, but we should also prepare for a possible no-deal scenario." Boris Johnson yesterday told Mrs. Merkel that the UK is prepared to leave the EU's single market and customs union on the same terms as Australia has with the bloc during a phone call with the German leader. A Downing Street spokesman said, on the future relationship, the Prime Minister underlined the UK's commitment to working hard to find an early agreement out of the intensified talks process. He also noted that the UK would be ready to leave the transition period on Australia terms if an agreement could not in the end be reached. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen vowed to do her utmost to reach an agreement with Britain before the transition period expires at the end of the year. The German, however, warned the bloc would not agree to an agreement at any cost. She said the future relationship pact with Britain must respect the core principles that bind us in Europe. Mrs. Merkel's intervention comes as negotiators work in London to break the deadlock over Brussels' demands for a regulatory level playing field and continued access to Britain's fishing waters. The two sides' top negotiators held a private dinner at Downing Street to kick off the negotiations. David Frost, the Prime Minister's lead negotiator with the EU, said, "Delighted to meet my fellow chief negotiator Michel Barnier at No. 10 last night and to kick off today's talks in London.